Hello, ladies. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hello. Happy
Hello,
Sunday.
welcome back.
Yes, welcome back to another great episode for Real Chill Conversations. And we're going to talk about this evening about, the death of Takeoff. It was tragic how everything has happened. They laid him to rest on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, here in Atlanta, Georgia. They had something for him here.
Yeah, at
But
State
we
Farm
just want to talk.
Arena.
Yeah, exactly. State Farm. Yeah, exactly, Brenna. So we're just going to talk about, a little bit about Takeoff and other rappers, young rappers that we have lost in these couple of years, and just discuss about like what can we change? What can we change so they won't have to end their life so tragic, you know? And tonight we're going to do a lot of things differently. We're going to actually drop the link. So if anybody else wants to jump on and give their input and just discuss, the death of Takeoff with us, you're more than welcome to join us tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I Yes, so we're gonna do it differently tonight. I know Dominique has a nice audio for us that we're gonna listen to first, and then we're just gonna discuss about the audio. Okay, so Dominique, if you have the audio and want to start playing it, we could just jump right into it. Okay.
Wonderful. And as I have said for years now, there is weird things going on in the music industry. I mean, just my personal opinion. It sounds like to me, traps have been set up by the ones in charge as far as when it comes to the money, especially. I wanted to share, me and Edwina wanted to share this audio about a former record label executive. After I play this audio, of course, we would get everybody's feedback on this. So give me like 3 seconds here and I'll play it.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, we're gonna drop the link. So anybody, if you want to guys want to hop on and discuss this with us, you're more than welcome to. We have an open platform. Only thing we ask is that you guys be respectful and keep it positive. That's all we're asking, guys. Okay, when you jump on the platform.
Here we go.
All right.
Seeing that a rapper from Migos died, I just wanted to go ahead and make a video about something I have a unique experience in. So I directed a bunch of rappers, people like Gucci Mane, Snoop Dogg, Lil Yachty, the list goes on and on and on, okay? I learned a lot of things, and I have left the industry largely over my political beliefs, but there is something I want to impart to people to hopefully, make some sort of change happen. So I have a challenge to rappers, and I know some of you still follow me. I know a bunch of the celebrity blogs still follow me from trying to get news from music videos and things like that. So here's the truth. The truth is this: a bunch of young black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives. The record executives that push for them to continue to make songs and create a culture that is obsessed with death, drugs, and sex. Period. The industry is obsessed with it, but those record executives, they're not dying because they don't push this culture on their own people, but they're encouraging you to push it on yours, and they're paying you handsomely to do it. The reality is, I know a lot of you. A lot of you are good people. You're family guys. You're not the image that you put out there to the world. Why? Why don't you be the example? Stand up. I challenge you. Be the example. Make music about the culture you want to see. Don't just get online today and talk about how, whenever a rapper makes it, his own people take him down. Don't just make those videos. Don't be sad. Don't rest in peace. None of that stuff. Be the change you want to see. Inspire it in your community. Reach out to other rappers and say, we have to stop. We're being used. You've been used for a long time. They create this paradigm to make you believe that you're so important and your celebrity status is worth so much, but in truth, you're a pawn in their game and you always have been. The government has wanted to hold down communities of people in different ways through different methods for a very long time. Their method in the black community has been to use entertainment to create a culture obsessed with death, drugs, sex, and money, so that they could create a false paradigm of what happiness and what success really was. And in doing so, they created a world that also made people more dependent on government, and as a result, gave themselves more power. The record executives that push you to do this, to go and continue to profit off the backs of your work, they're in cahoots with the elite. They're in cahoots with the government. They want you to think you're important, but in truth, you're just doing their dirty work for them. So stop. They've empowered you in ways that are real. You have an audience. You have platforms. You have the ability to make change. So go against the grain together. They're more afraid of you all together standing up and creating a new culture that's built around family, faith, freedom, doing the right thing, valuing life, than they are of anything else. So I challenge you, use your power to do the right things. If you continue to do the same thing you've done, more rappers like this are going to die. How many have to die before you change the culture? And let me tell you something else. There's a reason the record labels pay us more to do rap videos. They don't tell you that, do they? Do they tell you that they pay us more to do your videos? Because they do. They do it because they know it's more dangerous. They do it because they know it's more difficult. And they do it because, frankly, there's a lot of money laundering involved. Those labels wash a bunch of money through. We don't do it, but we know the labels are doing it 100%. Okay, they're then taking the money off the top end, and you see on your royalty check, oh, they spent $150,000 on this video. Did they? Because we didn't see $150,000. Okay, so where did the money go? And to who? Their friend's company? A lot of times that's the case. Same thing with insurance companies. They charge us more to insure your videos. And it's because they...
Okay, so I'll stop it there. I do want to say that this man, to me, understands the mentality. So what y'all think? He said some really profound things. I use the term a lot, make it make sense. And he certainly did that with his statements. And it really just makes you stop and think and wonder, why is it so many young Black rappers and young Black artists that are losing their lives, whether it's through violence, gun violence, overdoses, drugs, but the culture that he's talking about, drug, sex, and money, I mean, that's it. That's all we hear about. That's what they play in the clubs. That's what these videos are. That's what they get on their social media platforms and promote. And we're supporting it by supporting that music. We're supporting that culture, and we're not supporting the opposite of live your authentic life. Like, you're not really out here in the streets doing this. Maybe some of them are. There are some. They've gotten in a little bit of trouble for messing with gangs or being in organized crime or what have you. But this person who formerly worked for a label has the inside scoop as to what's going on. And I've also long believed that there was a difference in how labels were handling certain artists based on what their end goal was. And he said some really interesting things, and I'm glad that you played that audio.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brenna. He was on point with a lot of things because that's all you do see in the rap industry is sex, money, the flashy cars and the fame and all that, you see. So, and I know me and Dominique was talking about this earlier. I said, when, kids get to a certain age, they start to see that. They want to imitate that. It went from, oh, I want to be a doctor and a lawyer to, let me just go ahead and be a rapper because that lifestyle is like the lifestyle I want. I want to have the money. I want to have the fame, and why can't rappers rap about the change, switching up the culture the right way, you see? So I agree with you, Brenna. Um, Dominic, do we have anybody that wants to join us? I know we said we're going to drop the link. So
we have a comment here. They have the death clause in all of their contract. I'm with that. Yes, the link has been dropped in the chat. So if you would like to come up, just click on that link or copy and paste it into your browser, and it should bring you over to us, and I will let you in.
Yeah, but I do agree. It is a a death trap because, like you said, we see all these artists dropping like flies for what, you know? And he made another good point about the life insurance, how it's I guess, a higher amount for life insurance because they already know what type of lifestyle they're living. So they already expect them to die because by raising their life insurance up, you see? So they're expecting something to happen to these rappers.
Think about the example with Tekashi 6ix9ine and how much security he required because of the hits
Exactly.
that were being put out on him. That's a prime example of the companies charging probably millions of dollars insurance to insure this person and to have millions of dollars worth of security because he had a hit over his head after all the cases and everything that he was involved in. I mean, I believe it. It makes sense to me that they would charge more. They would charge more of a premium. You're not going to have the same issue when you're filming a Justin Bieber video.
No, you're not. But look what he raps about. You see what I mean?
Yep.
It's a different tone. He's not out there rapping about somebody shooting somebody or somebody stealing from somebody. It's a different tone, you see? And as an African American woman, I'm not going to lie, I do listen to some of the music, but I guess when you get into it, when you go to the club, you really don't realize what somebody's really rapping about. You see what I mean? You just listen to the tune, you're vibing, having a good time. But when you think about it, it's always negative they're really rapping about. Nothing really positive at all.
So my thing is, get a bulletproof vehicle and wear a bulletproof vest. I mean, and get like real security. So I think, I mean, a lot of rappers make a lot of money. I've seen the money on social media. We've seen this, especially with King Von, Mo3, Nipsey, Hustle, Young Dolph, Pop Smoke. Um, I mean, no bulletproof vehicles, vests, get real security.
Yeah, but I don't think they think they were gonna die. That's why they probably didn't get real security. You know what I mean? Like
I mean,
nobody
of
goes out there
course
thinking
not,
they're
but
gonna die.
how it is now,
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
don't think Takeoff thought he was gonna die that night just over a simple game. You see, that
But
could have honestly been prevented.
there's so many unfortunate situations that happen like this in a situation similar to Takeoff's where there's an argument that escalates and gets out of control. People pull up their guns and they start shooting over a dominoes game. This was at a dominoes game outside of a bowling alley.
yeah, but
This happens in our community all of the time. It just
exactly.
doesn't get the press that it's getting because it wasn't Takeoff that died. It was John Smith from, East Atlanta that happened to get shot during a dice game. But we don't get the same kind of information and influx of social media posts and media coverage because he's not an up and coming rapper. I mean, you can be an innocent bystander and be in a situation and wind up getting shut up. I don't necessarily think that they're going to really recognize how significantly serious it is out here for them, and you got to be real careful with where you go and who you go with.
That is so true, Brenda. And that's why I said what I said. Even though, of course, you don't think that you're going to die out here or anything like that. That's not the first thing that comes to your mind. But if you're, a well known person, you're already a target.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I'm
Well,
saying? So you have to.
I'm gonna say this: it's half of the time it's either their family or friends that's the one that's setting them up. It's You see what I mean? So it's the people you hanging around that's killing you. That's killing them. You see?
That's why I said you got to watch you got to watch where you go, and you got to watch who you hang out with. If it was me, if I was in a situation, if I'm going to a party for an event, I think there was an event at the bowling alley, and then after hours they decided to stick around and shoot the dice game. Once the party's over, okay, I was at the party, I was there, all right, everything was cool, I'm leaving. I'm not sticking around for whatever else may be going on at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just not going to do it because I don't, and I don't know who these people are that are outside shooting dice and doing whatever.
Well,
I don't want to be caught up in a situation where I could be impacted or somebody that I care about could be impacted because we
that
were
is
at the wrong
true.
place at the wrong time.
That is true, but I think it was just because it was Halloween night. You know, like you said, you just never know how the vibe can be after going bowling. You may want to chill out a little longer. You know, we have done that too. We went to one club and we enjoyed ourselves, so we went to another club. You never know how the night is. Halloween night, there was probably drinking, having a good time, and decided to stay longer. And by them staying longer, it turned into a tragedy, which is so sad now. So, but I'm with you, Brenna. You know, go have fun and come home. I understand.
So I have a question. I mean, I want to know you all's opinion on this. Is it gun violence or is there a bigger agenda behind this? Because it seems to me like rappers have been the target. I mean, it's a lot of rappers that have lost their lives.
It's both. It's like the person said in the comments, they already have a death sentence when you sign up to be a rapper. It's certain expectations you have to do to become a rapper. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but you basically selling your soul in one way to become a rapper that's well known. You see what I mean?
Yes.
We can't avoid that topic. We can't avoid that subject. You see what I
Yep.
mean? There's certain things you got to do, and it's a target. You're a target, and that's how it is. I hate to say it like that, but it is guns too.
Yeah, a
But
lot of
I
it
think
too
it's
does
both.
have to do with it is both, but I do think if you had to put a heavier weight on it, I would say that it's gun violence. But it's also, I think, the executives and those people that are making the decisions and pulling the strings of these artists, probably encourage them to carry weapons and to have weapons and turn it around and flip it and say it's for your own security, it's for your own safety. And so they feel like they got to carry guns and they got to whatever. And then something goes down and people get to shooting. And unfortunately, people are losing their lives over this whole situation.
Yeah, exactly, Brenda. And he went to Houston, so everyone knows how Houston is now. Houston is like Chicago. You need to be well prepared to go into
Yes.
Houston. You just can't
Mhm.
go without a bodyguard or anything like that. So whoever told him to go with just his friends and family, they were wrong. They should have had a bodyguard. If they didn't have a bodyguard, they should have had a bodyguard with them.
I
Yeah.
mean, look at King's Vaughn situation. He had about 30 people with him.
Yeah.
So
That's a
what
lot.
happened there?
That's a lot of people with you. A lot of people with you.
I think that was a setup. Personal opinion. There's no way.
Yeah, setup makes sense. And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate, when you get into the position that you get into, once you make it in this industry and people recognize you and you've got a name and you've got a brand and you've got all this stuff behind you, it'd be the ones closest to you that are doing this, that are setting and plotting and all that other kind of stuff, setting you
Yeah.
up, plotting on this,
Exactly.
robbery for that,
Exactly.
hit for this,
Yeah.
take the cash, we're gonna snatch the chains. Like, what are we doing? What are y'all
And
doing
they're
out
so
here?
young, Brenna. Like a
Yeah,
lot of the artists that have died, they're like in their early 20s. Like, can they live their life? Can they even get to enjoy their life? Like, you're in your 20s just dropping like flies.
I
That's
know.
crazy.
It is.
This has to stop, y'all. I hope that
Yeah.
people can wake up to what's really going on. Um, we need to have, I feel like we need to have a serious conversation about how hip hop is being used as well. Some of these beats are really created and it just gets out of hand. And then the only ones that are benefiting from it really is, like you all said, the record, well, like he said, the record label. She left.
I don't. I don't see her.
Did we lose her?
Oh,
Oh, there you go. You're back.
Okay. What
Did
you were saying,
somebody?
Dominique?
I thought somebody wanted to come on. Um, I don't see them. Okay. Go ahead, Edwina. I thought somebody wanted to come on.
Oh, okay. No, I was just saying, like the man was saying earlier in the audio, change the culture, change what you're rapping about. Just don't always rap about sex, drugs, and somebody getting killed. You know what I mean? Change up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's there's definitely a call for change, and these actions should hopefully, I don't know, get more and more people speaking up about it. And the more that the community and the culture itself, which is us and the consumers, the more that we speak up about, how we don't feel something is right and how something is not the way that it should be, then eventually, hopefully, the message will start to reach these record executives and these label folks, and they'll start realizing and recognizing that they've got to handle these situations differently. When they're grooming these artists to become these stars and they're making them sign these contracts and these clauses, like you started doing, and basically signing their life away, um, we need to step away from that. And you can't create a fake persona and a fake culture that you never even lived in. Like, stop playing. You grew up in a two-parent household, you went to a private school, you played clarinet and all these other things, but now all of a sudden you hard and you from the streets and you run the projects and you this, that, and whatever, and you've been selling dope since you were 12. What?
Exactly.
No,
Exactly,
that's like,
Brenda.
I'm thinking about like the story like Tyga. Like Tyga, he tried to make it seem like he had such a hard life, but he came from a two-parent household and his family had money because they owned a series of grocery stores, like corner stores or something like that. But he kept
Yeah.
trying to play like he grew up in the streets, and the streets
A-
raised him, and the strip clubs raised him. And it's like, no, no, sir, that's not how you came up.
and the sad thing about it, Brenda, you know, kids that are really struggling will see that and think that's the way to get out. You see what I mean? Not knowing he didn't go through that. There are kids that look up to him. They'd be like, man, if he got out the hood, I can get out the hood. You see what I mean?
And
So
he
that's not
and he, and he was
that's not how
never
it's
in the
supposed to
hood.
be.
Yep, and he was
And
never
he
in
was
the hood
never
in the
in the
first
hood.
place.
Exactly.
Never in the hood
Exactly.
in the
Giving these
first
kids
place.
false hope,
Yep. Yep.
But
which is
that's the
sad.
agenda and that's what they're pushing.
Yeah.
So they're making money off of it.
It's blood money, if you ask me.
Yeah.
'Cause
And they're going
people,
to keep pushing the agenda as long as they're making their money. And they
mm,
don't care who gets killed, who gets hurt, or anything like that,
no,
which is sad.
they sure don't.
So what can be done in this case? Because I mean, we're having the conversation now, but like this is way deeper.
I mean, I would think that there would be a possibility of maybe having, how they have like different special councils and different special groups and whatever, maybe something that is geared towards the record industry and the record labels and the record executives and the A&Rs and everyone else to change the narrative, start changing the narrative of what it is that they're putting out, music wise. And when they're grooming these artists, not pushing out this narrative of drug, sex, and and cars and jewelry and expensive things and things that the most regular person that is listening to their music is probably not going to ever experience. So you're setting an example of something that is not really even your true situation. It's not even really your true life. It's not until you sign that contract and you got your advance that you were able to turn around and be like, oh, I bought my mom a house. I bought my brother and sister cars. I'm helping to pay for college. I'm helping to do this. I'm helping to do that. But at what expense? By signing your life away? By signing that death clause? Is it worth it? Yeah, it's nice to be able to say you bought your mom a house and you're only 25 years old. That's great. But you're out here and you're giving these kids, I'm speaking kids because adults I believe have a better ability to be able to distinguish between what's really real and what's, just for social media. um, Kids are very easily influenced, but there's a lot of these kids, like you were saying, and doing it, that look up to these artists, and they think that, okay, if so and so made it out and they got to this point, then I'm gonna make it out too, and I'm gonna get to that point. And they're listening to this music word for word and listening to the messages that are being put across as to how they need to be living their lives. And that's when they start running into trouble, especially if they don't have the guidance and the direction of both parents being involved and knowing, having a finger on the pulse of what it is that your child is into. What are they listening to? What are they doing in their spare time? What are they doing in their free time? What are they watching on YouTube? What are they looking at on social media?
Yeah, that's true.
Very good point, Brenna.
Yeah, very good point. That's why I always say, as parents, we have to be involved in our kids' life because I don't want social media raising my child. So I'm going to do the best I can to make sure I'm involved in my children's life to lead and guide them the right way. Because, you know, social media is raising a lot of kids nowadays. Uh, you don't realize the effect social media has, but it has a effect on a lot of kids when it comes to dressing, if a person is fat or skinny, or how your hair should look. Social media plays a big part in it. So yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not in no way, shape, or form knocking any of these artists that unfortunately lost their lives way too soon, whether it was through gun
No,
violence,
we're not.
being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That we had a couple of drug overdoses as well that led to people's deaths. I'm definitely not knocking these artists, and they actually put out music that I'm saying I've actually listened to it. I listened to it, but I can also distinguish between what's real and what's not real, and I don't take their lyrics and their words
Exactly.
literally to the T, like someone that's 9, 10, 11 years old is going to be like, oh, if he's saying this must be really what he's talking about. I'm like, come on, but that's a good line, no? And it got a catchy beat. I'm listening. I'm listening. You got
I
to
be
make
the same
attention.
way. I
I
be the same way. But yeah, I mean, it's just music at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's being used, misused by higher ups to push out an agenda.
Yes. Like you said, it's to push on an agenda, Dominique. And I've said it once before, it's a death sentence. You can look at all the great just artists, not just even rappers. For instance, look at how Whitney Houston died. Michael Jackson, like look at that. You see the trend? And I'm not trying to get off topic with the rappers, but if you really dig deep and see how a lot of artists have passed away, like you said, Brenna, is drugs or something that's horrible. You see?
Yeah, because a lot of these artists are introduced to that drug scene
Exactly.
from the
Exactly.
beginning. From the
Exactly.
beginning.
Like I said, it's a death sentence from the beginning.
When you're expected to work 22 hours a day, putting out music and being in the studio and then filming this and filming that. Oh, here's a little something that's going to help you not be so tired. Here's a little something that's going to help calm you down and settle you down so you can go get some sleep. It's introduced to them from a very young start of their career. And unfortunately, addiction and substance abuse is something that a lot of these artists have dealt with. They're dealing with it.
And depression as well, because
And
a lot of the
depression
artists
as
are
well.
depressed. Exactly.
Yeah.
But they don't speak about this. It's something that is behind the scene. And so when somebody finds their body and it's from a drug overdose, it's a different story, you see. But like I said, I'm not trying to get off topic about the deaths of the rappers, but I just feel like Dominique said before, it's a lot more behind the scenes that we don't know about, that has to do with all the artists. You
Yeah.
see, and
I
how
agree.
they died. They all
Yeah.
died tragically. You see what I mean? Even
Yeah.
from being shot, drug overdose, somebody killing them, just something just happens to them. It's like, wow, how they die like that? You
Right.
see? Because it's a
Right.
death sentence from the beginning.
Absolutely.
I totally agree, Edwina. So I guess it's the most dangerous job in the world right now is being a rapper.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it does.
If we gotta ride around in bulletproof cars and have on full body armor, sounds like a dangerous job to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
I
job that's supposed to
mean,
be entertaining is
yeah,
dangerous. You
they
see?
should. But making 20, I mean, that's just something to think about. You're making like 20 or over, right, per show. So
Hmm. More than that.
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes even more than that. You look at Jay-Z and P. Diddy and stuff like that. I mean, those are people that had beefs and stuff, and I still haven't seen where they can be touched. So sometimes you may want to invest in that.
Mm,
That's true.
don't know about that, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean we don't have any incidences of we don't have incidences of Jay-Z or Diddy getting hurt, but
No,
we
just them having
but
beef with people,
we
but not really
that
get hurt.
just
But
them
Jay Z, I'm gonna
Jay-Z
say
um,
this: Jay
he-
Z and Beyonce, they're on a whole nother level. I hate to say it
yes.
like that. They're on
Yes.
the top level where it's just you can't. Like I said, some things we can talk about on this platform, some things we can't. But they're on a high another level that they can't be touched. Even as P Diddy, like I said, we talked about Illuminati before, but some things you just let it be. They can't be touched right now.
And I was gonna say, yeah, Diddy's had his beefs and Jay-Z's had his beefs, and he's gotten into physical altercations that are, resulted in him getting arrested. But I mean, that was way back, a long, 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 long time ago. He's so far removed from that right now. And Diddy's days of him getting in trouble due to his beefs up at record studios and at award shows and things like that, that seems to be out of the way for now. If he's beefing with anybody, it's back and forth on social media. And it's like, what artists aren't doing that? It would be a very quiet day in the world of social media if there was no artists or artist girlfriends or whoever from the industry posting something about an issue that's going on or a beef that's going down with somebody. I mean, it's just to be expected at this point. It's like, can't we all just get along? And it seems like we can't. There just doesn't seem to be room for more than one person at the top. Oh, I've got to be the best. I've got to be the best. I'm the best. I'm going to knock so and so off their number one spot, and I'm snatching it up and I'm taking it. And that thought process and that attitude is exactly what they want, because that leads us to infighting. That leads us to killing each other. And if that's the agenda, then good job. They're doing it. They're making it happen. And we're seeing it
Mhm.
every single day.
Mhm. Yep. Hey, Dwayne, are you still
All
there?
right. Yeah, I'm still here. I was just about to say, does anybody else wanted to join in, Dominique, or it's just us right now?
I kind of saw somebody that came in, but came back out, so I don't know who that
Okay.
was. But right now, no, we don't have anyone else. So if you just
Okay. Any comments that we need to answer before we hop off?
the last comment is real dope show.
Okay, cool. Thank you
Thank
guys.
you for that. Thank you for that.
Yep, for the love and the feedback. So, Brenna, do you have anything else to say before we wrap up the show?
No, I think I've about summed up my thoughts on everything.
Dominique, what about you?
No, I'm good. I think we pretty much put everything out on the table today. So it was a
Yeah,
great show. Thank
yeah,
you for coming up with this topic because it was long overdue.
Yeah.
yeah. And I want to say this for everybody out there. This is our own opinion of what we think about the music industry. So I don't want anybody to take it to heart, anything like that. Like Dominique has her view, Brenna has her view, I have my view of everything, and we just come on this platform and we try to bring it together. Like I said earlier today, because I don't want nobody to get offended by me saying it's like a death sentence. I just feel like it's much more to the rap industry that all of us really know about, and we just wanted to talk about it tonight. So that's all.
Just hit the
But it
low
was another great
surface a
episode,
little bit.
huh?
I said we just hit the little surface a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little service, you know what I mean? You know, what we have noticed, you know, our little lifetime. So that's all. So, but great topic, ladies, once again. Um, and I guess we'll have another great episode next Wednesday.
Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, y'all. You know what? Bear with me. Look, my days have been off. It's just I've been thinking today is Saturday. I don't know why. It feels like a Saturday with the weather and it's getting cold and stuff like that. So I gotta go work tomorrow, y'all.
Yes, we all got to go to work
We
tomorrow.
all have
Oh
to
my
go to work.
God.
Shout out to
I'm so
everybody.
ready for
Every
Thanksgiving, y'all.
yeah, shout out to everybody that's going to work in the morning.
Yes, yes. Working women, working men. Shout out.
Mhm. Yes,
We love
absolutely.
Mondays.
Not really, but you know how it is.
I know. I know.
We still trying to
give
get
us some
ourselves
trying to give some
together on
hope.
Monday.
I
Yes,
know exactly.
exactly. Because
Exactly.
the weekend wasn't long enough. I need that extra
No,
day,
I get myself together by Wednesday.
and then the week's almost over.
And the week's almost over. Exactly. Well, ladies, I'm not gonna hold you guys up because I know you guys gotta get you guys self together for tomorrow, but great episode and we'll see you guys next Sunday.
Indeed. Have a good night.
Holla.
8 o'clock, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye
All right.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.